Greetings and welcome to Energize You TV, Season 6, Episode number 39. So happy that you're here with me. I'm Angel Marie, your frequency alchemist. And today we're going to be talking about empathy or empathic. And would you like to know how, or do you feel more drained? Every time you have an interaction with somebody, you feel all drained. And wouldn't you like to understand, instead of being overwhelmed with all this, that you can find a balance and get in that alignment? Well, that's why you're here, because I'm so excited, because today is From Drain to Dynamic Energy Mastery for Empaths. And I know that you're leaning in because many of you that watch my show, you guys, you ladies and gentlemen, Lightworkers, are my empaths. So we take every week we take from the energy, we take from the Ignite book, Raise Your Energy in 30 seconds or less, naturally so you shine with more energy, joy, and abundance. So get your copy, come along with me. I'll sign it. It'll be so much fun. And you can come along with me every week with the book. So awesome. Now, I'm so excited to dive in because, studies have proven in this Journal of Neuroscience showed that when you consistently absorb others' emotions, your brains starts to center on detecting threats. So it puts you into a what? A flight or flight. A mild one, but it still does. And when that happens, it keeps your nervous system in that, and then it drains you mentally and physically. That's proven. So that's why today we're going to talk about how you can step more into the energy of that. And how we're going to do that is you asked for it. You asked for an intuitive, and I delivered. Because today in this week's wisdom segment, Jennifer Lonnberg, she's my dear friend, a fellow light worker, also a divine alignment mentor, speaker, author. She's one of my mentors, actually. So I wanted to bring her on because she's going to help with us in getting into that help us to connect, to trust our intuition and align with our purpose. But yet there's even more. So hold on, there's even more after that wisdom segment. Before that, we're going to talk about the crystal connection segment. Many of you just love that one. And then we're going to go to the energy awareness segment, which is teaching you about energy. And then the beautiful one is the Reiki for Life segment, where I touch on one thing that Reiki can help you and benefit from for you. And then the spirit animal segment. Oh my gosh, everybody loves the spirit animal, where I show you an animal and you get to know your animal. And then we'll jump over to the energy clearing and reset segment. This one's important, and you seem to enjoy that one also. And then the personal calibration transmission at the end. So wait all the way to the end, and where we focus on how to activate to align your energy, uplift joy, and expand abundance, to restore that biofield coherence. Now, I know that you just love this and you want to help other people. So be kind and go ahead and share this out right now, because there's so many of you that are stuck, that wanting to connect and be more awakened to what you feel and how to connect to your gifts and get unstuck. So go ahead and share that out. And that's what I love to do as a spiritual counselor, is to help people to connect to that energy, that frequency. So before we start, you know that I'm the water pusher, I'm the breath pusher every day on stories on Facebook and in Instagram. I ask you please to breathe and drink some water. There we go. So in this next segment is that science tells us everything is energy. Isn't it the hottest thing going right now? Everybody is talking about energy. And it's like, wow. And if you don't understand it, this is it. This is for you. Because why? Because energy isn't random. It's always moving, shifting, and responding to what you think, feel, and intend. And scientists like Albert Einstein taught us that everything in the universe is connected through energy, even things we can't see with our eyes. Think about it. You walk into a room, your stomach drops. That's energy. And you might think, hey, Jennifer, give me a call. And all of a sudden she calls and she's like, I just had this feeling. Everything is energy. So, and also making sure that you understand that your heart emits this energy, and it creates a measurable, magical, magnetic field that projects beyond the body. That magnetic field is an energy, and that energy is a frequency. And all frequency carries what? Information. Inside and all around your body is called a biofield. It's like your own personal energy bubble. While the term biofield might sound a little woo-woo, it could be, but the thing is, it's simple. An electric and magnetic field produces by the movement of ions in and out of the cells. Your thoughts, your emotions, even your excitement or stress, they all show up in your biofield, and they also show up in what? Your aura. This is your aura that I've been doing for so many years and taking pictures of auras, and this is real, and you can feel it. You see the aura, and it's exciting when you start to connect. And think about this too, is that your energy, you are a biofield. You're always emitting, okay? Coming from your heart mostly, and that's the highest amount of vibration coming from the heart, not the head. Can you believe that? I know, but it's coming from the heart and it's coming out. And the thing is we can prove that right here by the emotional vibrational frequency chart. Because when you're in shame, blame, guilt, fear, the lower energies of trying too hard, coulda, shoulda, woulda, what happens to your energy, right? It starts to go down. But as you lift your energy, and people will say that, Angel, how are you always in a place of this divine beauty that you are in this frequency alchemist? Because why? When I'm in lower energy, shame, blame, guilt, fear, and I'm down, I hurt more. Being diagnosed with lupus, fibromyalgia, arthritis, Sjogren's, neuropathy, Epstein-Barr syndrome, all of these immune systems, when I'm in a higher vibration of that, just like this says, in right here, being grateful, gratitude, being in that peace and compassion, that joy, that love. Oh, I'm clapping, because when I'm there, my energy is risen, and what happens? It helps me to continue, and that just goes right in line with what I do in this special work that is called the event energy conductor. And that is what I'm doing here as the frequency alchemist for these events. I go to the events, and I am doing this special work called the event energy conductor, because I am conducting the energy like a musician conductor leads an orchestra. I work with the invisible energy fields of people, spaces, and even events, turning and guiding the energy to it flows in a best possible way. But guess what? Yes, you are the same. Yes, you are an energy conductor also. Because why? You move energy, you balance energy, you manipulate energy, you also change the form of energy. And you may or may not know you're doing it, but you are. And in that, you are also that beautiful energy conductor. So give yourself a pat on the back, because you're doing it at the same time as well. So pretty interesting about energy, right? And again, you don't need to find your light. You're already wired for it. You just need to flip the script, or like what I like to say, all you need to do is what? Ignite it, know it, believe it, have it, own it. And as we move on to the next segment, we're going to be moving on to the segment of energy clearing and reset. I promised you that we would have the reset, because it's so important to reset your vibrational field throughout the day, to really connect to your energy, to your frequency, to connect to that energy frequency. So here we go. I want you to take a deep breath and take a moment right now and not only hear my words, but feel these words, and just imagine this clearing coming through in this energy. And just take some more deep diaphragmatic breaths and focus on removing and releasing and dissolving any patterns, any anger, anything at all. Keep your breath, even clap. clapping helps because it disturbs that energy. And now, as you breathe in, absorb this energy from the universe for healing, balancing, and stability. This is the beauty of the energy and the energy field. So keep that going and feeling that energy. Beautiful, beautiful. And beautiful. And I want to just throw this out to you right now is if you're interested in getting that book, if you love the song by the end, there is the QR codes to ask me, hey, what's the upcoming events? How do I understand more about Reiki? How do I understand about that? So beautiful, beautiful, and ways that you can do that. So as we move to the next segment, which the next segment is the Reiki Wisdom segment. And my top question that I always get asked about Reiki is, does it help with sleep? And studies show that Reiki can reduce cortisol, that's that stress hormone, and it activates the let me see if I can say this word, parasympathetic nervous system. I think you know what I'm talking about. The part of the body represents for rest and repair. This helps shift you out of the fight or flight state, and it helps you to get into that deep state. Now, ancient Reiki wisdom teaches that when we channel life force energy to the heart, into our head, the solar plexus chakra, that energy system, before we go to bed, it balances emotional and mental patterns that may cause insomnia or restless sleep. So I want you to do this because it will help you so much. So tonight before you go to bed, right before you go to bed, put a hand on your heart, put a hand on your lower belly, close your eyes, start that deep diaphragmatic breaths that I'm always teaching you about, and say out loud, I am safe. I release, I allow peaceful rest. Let Reiki energy flow your hands as you drift into stillness. So I invite you, Reiki, reset your frequency. Sleep where the healing lands. Sweet dreams, my light workers, sweet dreams, because it's so powerful when you use the Reiki. If you've ever wanted to talk about it, please get on my calendar and let's chat about how you can become level 1 Reiki, or come get a session if you're local. So let's jump in right now to a spotlight moment, because Stephanie was on last week. We had a beautiful conversation about emotional intelligence, and here she is to talk a little bit more about it in a spot.
Hello, amazing souls. I'm Stephanie Havel with the Sales Strategy Network, and I'm super excited to be here on the Energize You TV. A big thank you to Angel Marie for creating this vibrant platform filled with positivity and inspiration. Angel, your energy is so infectious and contagious, and I'm super grateful for the love and the light that you're bringing into this world. Today, I'm going to share with you some insights on emotional intelligence, or EQ, and I'm offering you my practical guide to emotional intelligence. As a certified Agile EQ facilitator, I'm going to teach you to lead, communicate, and succeed with emotional intelligence. Thanks so much, Angel Marie, for this great opportunity. And I want to thank all of you, the amazing viewers, for being part of this amazing journey on energy, joy, and healing.
Wasn't that beautiful? She watched last week's. If you missed it, there's her website. She also had a free gift, so check that out also, so she can bring that to you, because it's powerful, powerful. So let's just jump right back over to the next segment, and the next segment is the animal segment, and everybody seems to love the animal segment. So this week I picked as the animal, I picked as the animal is the bogon moths. Now, why did I pick that? I really want you to dive into this, because this is really cool. And this is so cool that they just found out that just like a day ago, the scientific journal Nature published an article stating that this little 2-inch little moth, when it migrates like 600 miles across Australia, what it did was it used the stars to navigate. Now this is huge, because the invertebrates, meaning us and like sharks that have vertebrae, we're the only ones that can track the stars. but it's saying that this moth did this. This is like really cool. I know I get all excited, but it really is. It's really cool because we've never had anything else. So that's why I focused on this today. Thank you, Linda, for this. So when it shows up, and it showed up for you right now, it signals a doorway to the unseen, the intuitive, the dreams, and the spiritual insight. So take a breath and step into the stillness because it's here for you now. Now, you want to call upon this beautiful moth when you're navigating challenges and seeking spiritual growth. It reminds you that transformation often happens in the quiet and the dark just before you rise. So remember that. If it's your power animal, you're a night owl and you love to connect to your dreams and you're guided to serve others through spiritual practices and transformation. Pretty cool, the moth. Yay. Thank you for that. And as we move to the next segment, we got to have a drum roll because before we go to the next segment, I want to tell you this beautiful quote. And this quote is, there is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. Rami said this. So we're almost up to the wisdom segment with the beautiful Jennifer, who's amazing intuitive. We're almost ready because why? We've got to go to a commercial right now. So stay tuned because I promised you also the crystal of the week and the element. So I'll be right back with the crystal and the element. So I'll be right back.
Traditional business cards are often lost or forgotten. This can lead to missed opportunities and wasted time and money. Java Logics offers a unique solution. Eco-friendly paperless business cards that are easy to update and share. With our QR code, you can share your card with anyone, anytime, anywhere. It's the easiest way to share your details. Interested in getting one? Click on Get Offer and get your own digital business card today.
Bam, bam, get with the beautiful Preston because everything's going digital and you want to make sure that you have your digital business card ready to go. Okay, here we go. It's the Ruby. There it is. It is the Ruby. And it is so much fun because the Ruby is very powerful because a fun fact about the Ruby is what? Natural rubies are rarer than diamonds and can be more valuable. And according to Chinese legend, the ruby was believed to be a symbol of what? Wealth, of course, and prosperity. And it also thought to have the power to bring good fortune and ward off evil. Yes, and the rubies benefits are dynamic concentration enhances immunity, sexual activity, woo woo, healthy blood, and also reducing fevers, healing infections. Oh my gosh, it just improves blood flow. It's keeping your heart and your spleen and your circulatory system healthy. Oh my gosh. And so, you know what? It is powerful, powerful. The Ruby. I just love the Ruby. So mean that and saying that. So make sure you get a Ruby. Keep it close to you. Now let's jump right in now to the element and the fun fact about this beautiful one is it's the 5 most abundant element in the universe. 78% of Earth's atmosphere is composed of nitrogen. Nitrogen is the 4th abundant element in the human body. I really want you to take that in because that's powerful, because this beautiful element is powerful because it is good for your overall health. It keeps the blood vessels flexible for delivering oxygen and nutrients throughout the body. When you take a deep breath through your nose and you do a little bit of a hum, 2 ways to increase that beautiful energy to and that oxygen to the brain. It may help you with concentration and connecting to the spiritual world. So like I say, nitrogen is essential for building proteins, DNA and RNA. And I'm always saying that, right? I'm always talking about how important all of the energy is of your DNA and your RNA. So beautiful talking about all of this energy and the energy conduct and how it is put together. So make sure that you also eat the right foods for this for the nitrogen. So these are some of the foods, and I just wanted to show because it's important that you make sure that you're eating the right foods to be able to connect. So, hey, we're getting ready for the beautiful Jennifer. She's going to be coming on, and she's going to be talking about some wonderful ways that we the energy mastery, but how you feel drained, all right? So here we go. Let's bring her on right now. Let's welcome her right here. There she is. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome.
Hello,
Welcome.
how are you?
Oh,
Am
fabulous,
I,
fabulous. And she is in. So I know how much I love you. I've known you forever. That's why you're on this show. Please tell everybody who you are.
hey everybody, I am Jennifer and I'm really excited to be here today. It's interesting. We've had a beautiful storm that just went through and I'm just praying now that the Wi-Fi will hold. We're going to say that it's going to be a beautiful event today. I've been married for 30 years. I have 2 children and 2 grandbabies, and just life is so fun and juicy. And one of the things that I love to say is that you can create a life you love. And I really, really mean that because I've seen it, I've done it, and it's just something that I want to inspire everybody to do.
Beautiful. Yes, yes. And I love that some of the things that you do say and how you say it, we've gotten to be able to be good friends more than that. You're one of my mentors. You're one of my go-tos when I'm spinning out or something's going on in the universe, just like yesterday what happened. And I called and it was like we were able to talk. So I want to say that I so appreciate that and your membership. And we'll get to really talking about your membership also because it has helped me so many times because it's a world of beauty. So as we move on, let's get those awesome golden nuggets out of you right now, right here about that. So here we go. I like this quote. We'll start with this and then you tell me what you think about it. Intuition is the GPS of spirit. Quiet, persistent, and always guiding you towards alignment. Can you add to that?
So I love this. I love that we always have an inner GPS within us, right? We think of it as giving us direction, but I have a little bit of a spin when it comes to the GPS because I actually call it grace, purpose, and sovereignty. Because we're meant to live with grace, which is everything is divine and you are divine just the way you are. Purpose, really tapping into our strengths and what makes us who we are. And if we follow those, that's really where we're supposed to be on purpose, those natural talents that we have. And then sovereignty is literally something that has been on my heart for the last probably 5 years about really understanding what is divine sovereignty. And divine sovereignty to me means understanding boundaries, both energetic, like we're going to be talking about today, as well as spiritual and then personal boundaries. So all of that together is what I call GPS.
Ooh, I really like that. Fabulous. Oh my gosh, that's fabulous. I love it. So I like that this is something that you said in your membership. And it just really, it's so true. And it is in 2025 right now. Be sure to stay in observation of all that is happening. Stay in a higher viewpoint as much as possible because things will look different at a ground level. Why do you say that?
So think about all the chaos that's going on in the world right now. Okay. And then I just want to take a minute. Imagine that you're flying in an airplane and you're going across Colorado where the beautiful Rockies are and there's forests and it's beautiful, right? From the airplane, you have this eagle-eye view. Everything looks beautiful and amazing. But if you're in there and you don't know where you're going, it can be overwhelming and you can feel lost. So it's the same thing with what's happening right now on the earth as a collective. There's a lot in the news. There's a lot going on. If you're kind of in that, you may not see the bigger picture that first of all, is it even affecting you or is it just you're letting it affect you because that's what everybody's saying on the TV and in the news and at the break room, right? Or is it really affecting you or is it just because that's what's around you? And then second, if this is really what's happening in the world, if we back up and look at it from a spiritual perspective, it's not going to look quite the same, because when we're in our human, it can be off centering. It can be a little bit making us feel scattered and scared and those things. But if we're in that spiritual perspective, we have to trust that everything is in divine timing and everything is in a divine orchestration on the planet. And so it gives us that space to be able to see everything that's going on, but not be in a reaction mode to it, and understand that there's really more than meets the eye.
Ah, beautiful. And I think you touched on one that I want to reiterate, viewers, and this is writer downers here. Is this the trust? To trust to unfold, that things are unfolding exactly the way they are. That doesn't mean, right, Jennifer? Because we talked about this the other day too. You can make decisions that weren't, well, I don't like decisions, I like choices that don't always pan out. Well, you still made that choice. However, you can't always say, right? And it's an excuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have a one from your book that I really like about excuses. But I can't say, well, I made that choice, and well, it was meant to be because I made the choice. See, again, that's what, because I love this out of your first book, because you have a couple of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that of the first ones, the reason you're holding yourself back are actually excuses. Can you kind of expand on all of that?
Yes. So this is one of I love, first of all, I've got to say, I'm going to steal that writer downers, because I love that. That is
You're
so
welcome.
good. I love that so much. And then the second part of this is, okay, when I'm working with clients, sometimes this is like where I'm like, okay, this isn't going to be the fun part, but this is the truth and the reality, right? So a lot of the things that we think are really good reasons of why we're not where we want to be, or why we're not moving ahead the way we think we want to, really can be, they're just excuses in disguise. And the reason that I say that is because as you're working through whatever it is that you're trying to create in your world, you're going to have reasons. Oh, I couldn't do it because of this, or I didn't get there because of this. But really what that is just excuses that you're using. Because, for example, this is a really easy one that everybody can understand. If you're really working towards, say, monetary, building your money, manifesting money, creating more income, things like that, a lot of times what people will say is, well, I can't afford to do that training, or I can't afford to do that coach. But then they're eating at a 5-star restaurant like the next day, right? And it's like, okay, that's not a really good reason. That's just an excuse. And you're using that as a reason to not divert the funds to where it would make more sense. Like if it's not in alignment with your goal. And so we got caught in these little tiny reasons that when we boil them down, they're sometimes excuses of why we're actually holding ourselves back. So it's no judgment in it, right? It's not about being in judgment. It's just about being, okay, this is the reality of what it is. And it may sound like a really good reason. It may really sound like a valid reason. And sometimes it is, but a lot of times if we dig a little deeper, there's a hidden excuse in that reason.
Yeah, yes. So remember that sometimes they are just excuses that you're using. Woo, that's a writer downer, yes. So I love this, and this was shocking to me. This new research in February of this year that revealed that individuals, and I like to say light workers, with higher sensitivity, because I never say, oh, I'm just sensitive. I say I'm more connected, but we're going to say it because it was a study. I'll say it. Higher sensitivity reported more mental and physical health complaints. You talk about that, because many of you I know, viewers, you're light workers. We are so connected. We're getting hit. So can you?
Yeah, so I've experienced this myself, and almost everything I teach on, of course, I learned it because I needed to. And there's something that I have seen over the last 12 years that I've been doing this work, right? There's a very high correlation between people who are, I'm not talking like I'm empathic to, or I have empathy for somebody. I'm talking about if you're literally an empath, meaning you feel the energy, which so many of us are, especially if you're in the world of like light workers and things like that. Like there's a lot of people that don't really truly understand what it means to be an empath. And I'm talking empath, not having empathy. So I want to make sure there's a difference. When you're an empath, you feel things on an entirely different level than most people. And so you really do feel energy. And if you're not sure what that is that you're feeling, it can make you feel run down. It can make you feel drained. It can make you feel sick. It can give you headaches. And there's a myriad of reasons of why this could be happening. Now, again, I'm using reasons, could be excuses, because again, if you aren't aware of it, then of course it's going to be a reason. But once you start becoming aware and you start realizing, again, they're starting to use scientific proof that we have these extra sensitivities. This goes within the psychic intuition and things like that as well. We work differently. Our bodies work differently. Our brains work differently. And so I actually think it's kind of fascinating, the work that they're doing about like the ADD and the ADHD and all those things. It's just an extra sensitivity, and we work a little differently. So therefore, we have to learn how to be in this world a little differently. So once you understand how you're sensitive and what, like, is it the moon? Is it the galactic frequency? Is it the way the astrology is moving? Is it the solar flares? Is it the Schumann resonance? What is it particularly that you're feeling? And when you get clear on that, and sometimes we feel a little bit of all of it, but then you can take care of yourself in a way that that's no longer something that holds you back. So then it becomes something that, okay, I understand this. Now I can deal with it. I can work with it. I can support myself through whatever it is. And you know, for so many of us, we have been sensitive our entire life. We have been empathic our entire life. We've been intuitive our entire life, whatever it is. And we had no reference of how to deal with it. And therefore it would cause us headaches. You know, back in the day when I was young, I tried so hard to block out spirit that I had headaches all the time. And that's why, because I was trying to block out the intuitive messages that were coming through. So same thing with our bodies. If we're really feeling a lot of stuff and we don't know how to work with the energy that we're feeling from others, we then can internalize it and it will make us sick. So
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And we've had that because you had a bout of stuff that you went through. And it was, and you know, we can say that was an upgrade. I went through some things, and many light workers will say, well, if that happens to you, sometimes you're getting an upgrade. But what I'd like for the viewers to hear, get ready, writer downers, is that what do we do? What is like maybe one or two things that they can do?
Well, okay, so here's I'm gonna challenge what you just said just a tiny little bit. So I look at everything from 5 pillars. So there's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, galactic energy, right? So we've got all of that going on. That is all part of things that we deal with in this human experience. Sometimes, yes, it's an upgrade. Sometimes you end up quote unquote sick so that you're in bed for 3 days so that you get that spiritual upgrade. You get insights you would have missed otherwise because you wouldn't have been quiet enough to hear it. We're on the planet. Sometimes a virus is just a virus, right? So sometimes it's just a physical thing. Sometimes it is emotional. Like sometimes you need to grieve and you haven't allowed yourself. So then you end up in bed for 3 days so that you can process it, right? Like there's all these different things. So yes, while sometimes that can be an upgrade, sometimes it's just stuff happens, right? And so I always like to say, whenever you're in that, sit with it for yourself and get in tune and ask, is this something? Is it just physical? Is it whatever? Once you know what it is, then you know how to deal with it. Because if it's spiritual, then you want to journal, you want to meditate, you want to bring it in. If it's physical, you want to have chicken soup and you want to put lavender on and you want to have the diffuser going with eucalyptus or whatever it is. You want to take a salt bath, right? So it just depends on what, like, once you're clear on what it is, then you know how to nurture yourself through it.
Oh, beautiful. And so really it's identify acceptance, and I'm going to say that is accept where you're at and then sit back and go, okay. And this just happened yesterday. All of a sudden my head started hurting. And many of you know, I never get headaches ever, 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 ever. And I can start a migraine for the light sensitivity and all this other stuff. But I was like, this is weird. And I just was like, is this mine? Is this my energy? Is that what's going on? And I got no. And I was like, okay, it's the planet and what's going on in the planet with the bombings, and we don't have to get into that, but lots of stuff's going on, right? So it's like, okay. And it was go hold space. So I laid down for almost 3.5 hours in the middle of the day, which is not like me. And I never slept, but all it was to holding space. And we need to jump back for a second too, because in that is also a physical. If you've got too much chaos, you got too much stuff, right? Stuff like your environment, that can affect you also.
Mm-hmm. That's in the membership. You just made me think of in the membership what had come through because I channel messages every month, and what had come through was that there's a lot of energetic noise, and it's literally noise that isn't actual physical sound, but it's energetic noise that is just all of the energy around us that's causing that. So it can be that too.
And I love those ones that when you channel, because it helps me. And I've gone back to look at some of the other ones. So I just love your membership. So reach out, go to her website, take a look, because it's amazing what you're doing and all the resources that you have in there. So, and this is another study. I want to jump over to another study and this was, I was wondering about the psychic spying research. Okay, produced a credible evidence in 1995. Come on, guys, This isn't new, right? That secret government, where did we go? Secret government experiences on psychic spying have produced the most credible evidence to date that humans have paranormal abilities. That's intuitive. Does it go into what we're talking about today, the empathic?
I mean, it can, because a lot of people that are in this space are really fascinated with stuff like this. Right now, I think it's interesting that this is government research. Like, I know about this, but do other people know about this, right? This has been going on for a long time. And what you just said is exactly right. It's not new. This is nothing new. The interesting thing is, I think what they're talking about would be what we would call like remote viewing. So I would be fascinated to know a little bit more about their research, but I do know, I actually have a friend that does remote viewing to help solve criminal cases. Yeah. So it's very interesting how accurate remote viewing can be. I do always say, don't do that unless you're trained, because you need to have protection in place. You need to know how to anchor yourself in. There's a bunch of things that go with that. I do know people that just kind of accidentally remote view. They don't realize that's what they're doing. So that is a real thing, and it is a real gift. But I'm sure it could feel like it was not a gift if you didn't know what was happening.
Oh, it so is. And I teach that in groups, and we would remote view ourselves back into our closets or something like that. And I had this one lady, she remote viewed herself into my closet.
Oh.
And the thing was really interesting because we were in my home office, and all of a sudden I felt a heaviness in my closet. And I was like, one of you has remote viewed yourself into my closet. I can feel you in my closet. And that is not someplace you are welcome to be. It was a really interesting way to understand. And then they got it. It was like, this isn't something you play. Make sure that you have a spiritual counselor, a spiritual person that has been doing this a long time if you're going to remote view. And there has been times that we haven't been able to remote view at all. I don't know if you've ever had that, but during whenever I don't even want to call that C word. And there was quite a few of us that we would get together and we could not remote view ourselves.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So I'm going to digress and go back to what we're talking about is the empathic. So
yes.
So that was just a really interesting one to go into. So, and you kind of mentioned about your friend that you work with the 5 senses, but there's also 5 steps to embody grace that that I saw in your membership. And then we had a coaching together. I just adore this lady, you can tell. So go ahead, and can you tell the viewers a little bit about that 5 steps?
Yeah. So in my first book, Embodied Grace, A Woman's Path to Empowerment, that was where the 5, I had developed it before that, but that was when I first put it out to the public, was the 5 steps to embodied grace. And what that is just, again, we have this idea of, for the book, create a life you love. Okay, that sounds wonderful. But if you don't know what it is, how do you create it? Right? So that's what that 5 steps is. Once you kind of get an idea of what you want. Now, again, I want to tell people, when you first start like diving into this, okay, I'm ready to change some things. My life needs to be a little bit better, a little bit more fun, a little bit more joyful. that can be the goal in and of itself, just being more happy, being more joyful. If you take those 5 steps, the first step is decide. Okay, so decide what you want. Is it that you want to be happier? Is it that you want more money? Is it that you want whatever it is? Pick something and just make a decision. Once you make that decision, then we have to learn what it means to have self-care. And the reason that that's important is because if you're going to change something, you're going to come across things that are going to hold you back. Like there's going to be excuses that come in the way. So you want to be able to nurture yourself through it. You want to have an awareness of what do you need to support yourself as you go through these changes. The next one is self-awareness. So step 3 is self-awareness, and step 3 is about triggers. Why do we need self-awareness? Because we need to know, where do we let ourselves off the hook? Where do we not make the commitment? What triggers us to be like, never mind, I'm out. You know what I mean? And then 4, we need to define what that is. And the defining is kind of like, this is where creative visualization would come in. We want to have an idea of what it would look like to get to that point so that we know when we get there. And then the last step is claim it. And when I say claim it, I mean take inspired action. If you say you want something, but you never follow up or you never take the steps to do it, you're not actually claiming that as something that you want to create. So you need to have that actual, like, draw the line in the sand, take the step and do the thing.
That's beautiful. And I know that part of what you do also is you coach people one-on-ones, other than the membership and the books. And then, I mean, I've seen you on stage. You're just dynamic on stage and you just draw in the audience. So, but yet, can you tell us, like, you had a coaching client, like, that's what I would call them, and you have them here, and then after 90 days, 2 weeks, they were here. Can you tell us kind of a story about that?
Yeah, so I've had some really good results. I've had somebody who boosted their income dramatically within the 90 days. I really like to work nowadays more on a 6-month basis, just because time is so different now. But still, it's the same kind of idea, because time is just faster. So 90 days, we can get a lot done, but you're going to anchor it in a lot better if we go a little bit beyond that. But anyway, that's besides the point. So I've had somebody who's boosted their income. I've had somebody who wrote a book. I've had somebody who kept their marriage intact. I've had somebody, I mean, there's all different kind of things. I've had somebody who opened their own intuitive practice. I have so many amazing stories, and the women that I worked with have been absolutely just incredible. Every woman that I worked with has just been absolutely incredible in their own right. So again, it comes back to, what is it that you want to do? Do you want to develop your own intuition, your own psychic, awareness? What is it that you want to do? Do you want to get healthier? I've actually, back in the day, worked with health clients. I was a health coach first. So there's all kinds of things. And again, it comes back to, what do you want? Because if you sit down with me to decide you want to do a coaching program, we've got to have an idea of what the goal is, because that's where we're going to focus when we're working together. Whereas the membership's just kind of all about, like, let's just open up and be in the energy and, develop your intuition and be in divine alignment and all the good fun stuff.
Well, it's more than just the good fun stuff, because it's a pool of resources, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But let's just tell viewers, I know you're leaning in, so let's give them a doable, actionable step that they maybe could do every morning or every evening, something that they can do. So get ready, guys. It's a writer downer. What would that be?
One of the easiest things that I like to share with people, that's something fast that you can do every day, is when you're in the shower, imagine divine light coming through the shower, because that is one of the easiest ways. It's something that you're already doing. I like to make the energy practices, the energy work, the development, everything as easy as it can be. So if you need just one little simple thing, when you're in the shower in the morning, ask Jesus and the angels to surround you in divine light, and imagine that shower just with beautiful, brilliant light, just washing not only your body, but also your energetics, like all the energy, all your chakras. That would be one little tiny nugget.
I love that, because it's simple and to the point. And I teach the same thing every time you wash your hands, you have running water, or you're in the shower. think of it as it's going through every cell nuclear, every system, every organ, every DNA and RNA, and it's clearing all that energy. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, this has gone so fast, but you know what? I so appreciate you. And you have a free gift. Could you tell us what that free gift is?
I do. I have the 10 keys to, I'm going to say supercharge. That's not what it says on the top of it, but to really expedite your spiritual journey, because I think so many people are coming into awareness about ascension. And so I felt like it would be a really good resource to put 10 like key steps that you can take that will really support you in your spiritual journey.
Beautiful, beautiful. So check that out, because you don't want to miss out, and it can help you to go to the next step. And I hope that you viewers that will come join me in her membership, because it is really fun with all the resources, and Jennifer is really fun, and she's a world of information, and I just adore you. You know that. So going back, here is again her website. And did you have any other lasty or final words for everybody?
No, just, I mean, you guys, just thank you for being here. And even watching this, you are bringing more energy, more light, more joy. And that's really what's going to help us move forward as we raise the vibration on the planet, honestly, because that's what we're here for. If you're watching this, chances are you're a light worker, or you're interested in it, or you're being called to it, or you've already been doing it forever, like whatever that is. And the whole human journey right now is really a spiritual one.
Yeah. And it all has to do with your energy and your time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that really equals what their monetization is. And isn't that interesting? So thank you so much for being here, and let's sing it out as we say goodbye. I promise you this beautiful great listen to the words. It's my song. I sing it just to you. I wrote it. So listen to the words. Here we go.
You got ambition, fire and soul. Look within your heart, let your spirit flow. Ask for what you want, show them what you got. Take it to the top, don't you ever stop. Shine, shine, shine on. Raise your vibration, shine.
Never said raise your vibration.
Shine on. Looking for the answers, seeking you will find. Open in your heart, leave it all behind. Smile and always give back.
Here we go.
Like a star, show them who you are. Shine, shine, shine on. Raise your vibration. Shine, shine, shine on. You're the secret, you're the answer. You know who you are. Look within you, breathe and focus. You're a shining star. Shine, shine, shine on. Raise your vibration. Shine, shine, shine on.
Woo, woo, woo. Isn't that beautiful? Do you love my song? I love my song. It's so wonderful. So stay with me now. We're still going on, because we have the amazing the calibration, that personal calibration that I love, love, love to share with you, because it is time for us to connect to that personal calibration. And in that personal calibration is when it is helpful to connect and calibrate your energy, align it, become one with it. So what I'd like you to do right now, right here, is this transmission is powerful. So take a deep breath with me now as we go into this beautiful time. Take a breath and relax. And as we've already removed, released any and all energies, vibrational fields that no longer serve you, breathe it in with me. And as we removed it, and now let's raise our vibration. And as we raise this beautiful frequency in this energy field, With this calibration, let's absorb this energy from the universe for healing, balancing, and stabilizing your energy. Breathe in as we ignite, activate, calibrate the vibrational field as it is all coming together in this beautiful, gentle waves of healing, abundance, money, relationships, great health, to spiritual growth. Breathe that in this gentle waves as it is washing over you. And imagine this limitless abundance, limitless healing, beautiful health to relationships, to the way that you show up to serve others. And just let it surround you and like it's overflowing fountain of this beautiful energy frequency. Breathe into this and focus on your breath. And focus on your intentions to manifest this beauty, manifest this energy of beautiful energy as it is transmuting and transmission to you. And echo my words as you not hear my words, but feel my words. And echo this with the joy, with the compassion, with the grateful gratitude that you have for life, to the beauty of who you are with that joy and with that love. Really echo my words as I have the very best. I own the very best. I see the very best. I believe in the very best. I know it, I know it, I know it. And I feel that I have the very best. I feel that everything comes easily, with grace, ease, and glory. Feel the gratitude. Feel it coming from your heart of this abundance of wonderful energy of the relationships, to your spiritual growth, to your great health, to all the tasks and throughout the day are so easy, to the way you show up and serve humanity. Breathe into this grace, ease, and glory. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Take a breath and release. And let it go into the universe. Let it go all the way out, all the way. Feel this energy. Feel it as it's coming. And take another breath. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Angel Marie, your angel of light. I just love that you took the time for this transmission to calibrate your personal energy, really hone in on what we talked about today on Energize You TV. Thank you so much. And you know, I really would love to get to know you. And getting to know you would be for you to go ahead and get onto my calendar. So I really want you to go ahead and take a picture of this QR code and get on my calendar. I'd love to take 15 minutes with you, a half an hour, get to know you and how you want to show up in the world. And again, thank you, because I see you and celebrate you. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. So thanks. Almost 7 seasons now. 65,000 views a month. 3.3 million minutes viewed a month. And the staggering is that you stay on for an average of 53 minutes. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you. And again, I want to get to know you. And every week I am here with amazing guests from all over the world, 11 o'clock Pacific, every Thursday. And this isn't just a show, it's a movement. It's a global impact. And I want to thank you for your beauty, for your love, and to remember to do what? Change your mindset, ignite your energy, and to shine on. Until I get to see you next time, I love you, I adore you, and have a fabulous, fabulous week.